Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Pulp Blotter Book Club on 22 panels, where today we go a little bit away from pulp. This is as much just slice of life as pulp, but there's a strong crime element. It's on the fringe of the crime world. Roughneck by Jeff Lemire, which is just a beautiful and poignant book. And I'm joined again by Chicago playwright Mark Pracht. So
Hello.
how's it going, Mark?
Great. Doing well.
Eddie's here again.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit.
Okay.
I do think this is noir and a bit pulpy.
Okay. Well,
Not necessarily. I I know.
I don't disagree. I was only saying that it's an edge that doesn't get explored a lot, which is one of the
Right.
reasons I love that we're exploring it.
Well, I mean, I think that in general, boy, I'm jumping right in here, but in general, it's sort of I think it's noir and pulpy in the same way that Fargo, the movie
Okay.
Fargo was.
Yeah.
And it definitely, like, I can certainly recognize the noir aspects in terms of, you know, Derek is this damaged guy with a violent past who has an innocent come into his life. I mean, like, it's very much, and that innocent happens to be his sister, but
Right.
uh, not that she's innocent, but you know what I mean. Um, and I don't know. I I love this book. I love Jeff Lemire
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. So I think that it is. I think it is beautiful. I think everyone should read it. Thank you and good
Definitely. Yeah.
night.
I think where I was talking about it being on the edge, but an edge that I like is most of the time when you have a pulp, a noir, even a crime story, the centered character is the criminal, the victim, or the law enforcement. Um, and here, our centered character is one that in I think most stories like this would be a supporting character at best. Because until the very end, he doesn't do a ton of the work.
No, but it is. I think what it is, and I think this is very much a noirish kind of thing, is that he is a man of violence.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, the difference, the violent history that Lemire exposes or like explores is, tied to hockey
Yeah, he's
because
a retired hockey
because
goon.
yeah, because Mr. Lemire is a proud Canadian, I believe. So
Yes,
uh
yes, he is.
and that it's that shift that makes it super interesting to me. I mean, that and the rural aspect of it,
Yeah,
which is what is also very similar to
Fargo.
Fargo. I mean,
Yeah,
and
even more rural than Fargo, but yes.
yeah, but it's similar feel to it, of course. There's the
Mhm.
the grand whiteness and the
Right.
but I think that much of how the story proceeds does it's you could tell this story with Derek, our main character, being an ex-con, and the story could be
Very
almost
similar.
identical,
Mhm.
almost. And I don't know. I think that
Well, and he is almost an ex-con, He
right.
didn't retire as much as he he went overboard as a goon and caused enough damage to an opponent that like it doesn't say it explicitly, but you do have the announcer saying the last panel of that flashback is
Mhm.
he'll be lucky if he ever plays again.
Right.
Um,
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's so many things that he's I think that's why I love this book, is that it takes that framework of I mean, the framework is totally a crime story.
Yeah.
It is, you know, uh, it almost seems ancillary, but it actually is the driving force of the whole story, and then puts all of these things. I was like, when I finished rereading it last night, I was looking at the acknowledgments and the dedication, and I was like, wow, I wonder how many of those people, like, I love the fact that Derek and his sister, who I can't remember her name off the top of my head, are both half indigenous.
Right.
And then that plays into it. I love that their father has many of the same anger issues that
Yep.
Derek does, and that is brilliantly almost drawn to look exactly like Derek.
Yes.
I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love, yeah, I mean, I think that, but even like just thematically, that idea of when, I mean, I guess we could go over what the plot is. I mean, obviously we have this
Yeah, I was
Derek.
about to say, since we jumped in media res, we should probably give the really quick rundown. Derek is a retired,
Olette, Derek Olette, I think is his name.
yeah, is a retired hockey player. He'd been essentially a goon, but there's some reference to having better stick handling skills than your average goon.
Hmm.
Um, he grew up in small town in Canada. Um, Parents working at the mill. Um,
Pimi Pimi Tamon.
yeah, that sounds
I have
about
no
right.
idea how to pronounce the name of the city or the town. So
Um,
the pit.
and his mother died when he was young. His sister left and never looked back. Um, but she's reappeared, and it turns out that not all of her years away were good. She's a recovering addict. She's got a violent boyfriend who's also a dealer on a high enough level that you consider him a violent criminal, not just a you know guy who can hook you up.
Right.
Um, After her, um, and uh, Derek and the town sheriff and their friend. Oh, what's the friend's name?
Oh, the
The guy
the
that actually takes him to the cabin.
right, who was from the reservation with
Yeah, as it turns
their
out, was a
mother.
friend of their mom's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grew up with their mother.
Um,
I can't
you
remember.
know, all kind of work to protect her, help her clean up, and keep her away from this situation. Um, and there are flashbacks to their childhood and his career. One of the things I was noticing as I'm just flipping pages right now, because it's primarily done in Lemire's typical for Essex County, um,
Yeah,
black and white with like a kind of a bluish wash, a bluish gray
right.
wash.
Kind of
Um,
reminds me of it reminds me of the Darwin Cook, the Parker books. They always
yeah,
have that single color wash.
right.
I know where you're going. The flashbacks are all in color.
Well, no, I was going to go a step further than that. Because the flashbacks fall into another rule, because there is one other time that color appears, and that's almost exclusively blood when
Hmm.
violence is happening in the present.
Hmm.
But I'm going to go that step further and say color is only happening around violence, because all of the flashbacks involve violence in some way, shape, or form. When there's more color than the blue, red is really prominent. whether it's
Oh yeah.
blood or elsewhere. Otherwise, Dad's wearing either red shirts or red checked shirts. Derek almost always has red pants or red uniform shirts. Um, y- you know, sister's wearing a red jacket when she's on the street of Toronto.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, no, I think that you're 100% right about the red. There is the when Derek finally confronts the boyfriend.
yeah, the only non-blood red in the present is the boyfriend's jacket.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a yeah, the shirt actually. It's a crosshatch pattern. But
Yeah.
when Derek confronts the boyfriend, the Lemire actually has him what I would say is seeing red, and
Yep.
it's two stripes of red across
Across
the
his
full
eyes.
page panel, and then
Yep.
there is a raging dog inside of the red.
Yep.
Um, I think that you're 100% right about the proliferation of red, but I will also say this. I think that the fact that the flashback scenes are more in full color. The other time you see it is there's the scene where Derek is walking through the woods and he sees the duffel bag and the hockey sticks laying on the
Yep.
snow, imagines them, they're in color.
Yeah.
I think that part of what that is about, from my perspective, is that the past is more real to him
Yeah.
than where he is now.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I think it's more real to uh, God, the sister. I should know the sister's name. I should have a better
I
memory.
mean, I honestly, in some ways, think it's a sign of a well-written book when you like forget the names.
Yeah,
Beth.
Beth.
Beth is
Yes.
the sister.
I mean, but even like when Beth has because when Derek goes into his rages, that the slash of red across the panel is pretty pervasive. Uh, but even when Beth is having a flashback, there's the one where she is at the diner with her mother
Mhm.
and their father comes in, and Derek is nowhere to be seen. So I think even with Beth,
But how does that scene end?
what that's it ends with violence. I mean,
Yeah.
like violence is obviously pervasive, although really there isn't a ton of red in that one. I mean, other than the
The
counters and
the the
stuff.
the
It's
counters, the tables, the lights.
yeah, I mean, like he throws the coffee pot down, but I still think it is about being unable to see
I
the
don't disagree
present.
at all. I think we're talking about kind of the same thing though,
Sure.
because I think where both Beth and Derek have gotten in their lives is they have realized that this life of violent cycles is not living. As much as that's the only thing that's like real to them, as much as they're in this um like redundant pattern of boringness when they don't have it, as much as their life feels drab. um I think they both made the decision that that's not the life they want.
Mm-hmm.
So the violence and the color for the nostalgia and the real, I mean, to a sense, it's like the only thing that is real to them is the hurt.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
I think that that is uh I think that that is 100% true. I think that I don't know. I mean, I think that I mean Lemire is just a genius. That's all I can
yeah,
say.
yeah,
It
he
it is
is.
it is it Yeah, it's oh God, it's I'm just flipping through the book right now and it's
Me
just like
too.
gray, 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 gray. And then you get to his flashback to him playing hockey as a boy
Right.
and getting pulled out of the game and his dad bawling out the coach,
Oh, see,
sending
I was trying to remember that, and it is true. There is
like
one other place that there's color. The last two pages, they're
mhm,
walking into it, and it's yellow,
mhm,
and it's bright, and it's like that they've gotten past this violence, and they're
mhm.
looking at
There's a
something new.
future
Right.
that can be as real as the I mean, I also love there's the scene where they hunt the moose
Yeah.
and the the steam coming out of the moose mingles with the steam coming out of their mouths,
And he
and
imagines, or
he
there's
imagines a world that is again full color
right, where
and
this moose was alive with little baby moose.
right mooses.
I don't know.
I think it's
Let's
moose.
ask Google what
Yeah,
is
I think
a baby moose?
but
Oh,
you
it's just a calf. Moose calf.
um but I mean, yeah, I have loved this book for a long time.
Oh, but he also didn't do his homework because it says here that female moose have either one or two calves at a time. And this picture is very clearly three calves. So either she adopted one, or this is anomaly, or I don't know. Gonna have to give Jeff a hard time if I talk to
I well,
him.
I'm sure that we can
I'm so
just tell
glad I
him that
forgot to
he
do
doesn't
that.
know what he's doing at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
But I mean, it's
You
really
should
interesting.
research moose.
Um, I, like even not to like I love Jeff Lemire so much, but it's really interesting because there are this kind of gets off the book itself and more into the like I know that he's done a lot of like horror kind of books like Underwater Welder and things like
Right.
that. And those things never hit with me. Like I read those and I'm like,
Underwater Welder hits with me. Um, his stuff that he does with Sorrentino, which is his hardest horror.
yeah.
Um, I like it, but it never hits with me as much as the stuff he does alone.
I think that I'm just not a horror guy. I've never
I'm
been a horror.
not normally either, though I find myself becoming more and more of one in comics, particularly as more and more writers and artists that I love have been doing. I mean, we've got two horror anthologies coming out this month. The revived EC Comics and Boom
Yeah,
has one as well that I forget the name of. Brian Azzarello has stories in both of them. I
yeah.
know I'm going to read Brian Azzarello. I know I'm going to enjoy Brian Azzarello.
I don't know. It's like what I love about this book because it does have sort of horrific elements,
It does.
but it also feels like very connected to that. Because the first Jeff Lemire I ever read was Essex County,
Yeah, me too.
and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's that kind of stuff. It's the small town Canadian life stuff that really, really
Yeah.
clicks with me. And when we were working on this series of podcasts, I know every time we finish, we always have that conversation of what do we do next.
Right.
I don't know. I had been wanting to reread this because
Yeah.
when I bought it, I read it and I hadn't really looked
Right.
at it since, and it'd been sitting on my shelf and looking at me, and I was like, God, I should read that again.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
It is.
And
It's
it is I don't know. It does. It feels so. I love his style of art. It's a lot like it. It's not as clean as Darwin Cook, but it's in the same vein. Like
And he's as with Darwin, as with Elsa Chartier, as with uh, Alex Cormack does it really well. Ibrahim Mustafa does it really well. Um, I mean, when I break down comic art, there are really there are three things that really stand out to me. Um, how creative are you willing to get with your panels to make this, to have the story hit the right pace and the right notes and whatnot. Same with angles and whatnot. How much are you willing to to challenge yourself on each and every page from the basic layout
mhm,
point. But then there's two things in the way characters are drawn that I think there are huge numbers of comic creators that don't really do either of them great because they're not necessary to storytelling, but they take it to another level.
right.
Um, and that's really outstanding facial expressions
Mhm,
and body language.
mhm,
Um, I can get the feeling for a scene, like zooming out and just seeing how the body is being held with
mhm,
Lemire.
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
um, and this isn't even supposed to be a slam but those are the things that the artists that I love the most. Those are the three things that I wind up noticing. it's
Yeah.
it's how do you use your panels, what do you do with faces, what do you do with essentially posture,
Mhm.
because it's not just the motion. I mean, almost every comics creator is great at drawing motion, but what do you tell me when they're standing still?
Well, I mean, and the stories that Lemire is drawn to lend themselves to that. I think
Yeah.
that he I mean, you talk about facial expressions and posture and things like that. I mean, like for me, the king of that is Kevin McGuire. Uh,
Do I need to do more? I met him at C2E2. I haven't
I
haven't read enough of his
I
stuff.
have tried to reach out to him on his website so many times because I had for a long time I had a commission that I wanted him to do
Okay.
in the style of his Justice League covers, but uh, never responded. So I don't know. And I actually didn't realize until after C2E2 was over that he was there. So I was
Yeah,
kind
he's got a Kickstarter, which is why I need to
of,
reach out to
I
him. I actually
that
have
it's
heard
a,
from a number of people that he doesn't respond when they reach out for podcasts, but when I talked to him, he was very affable and gave me a card. So I'm gonna have to
yeah,
find out if he was just being nice because I was in front of him, or
he he's actually one of my favorites. I actually have one of his pages on the wall right here.
yeah,
Um, but that's kind of beside the point. But yeah, like it really is true that Lemire is very good at that as well. Um, I mean, I'm just looking at this page here where Beth and Derek are both sleeping on the floor of this little cabin they go to so she can go through the
yeah,
DTs. And it's just four panels of faces and, two of him and two of her sleeping on the floor because it's warmer
right.
on the floor, which
By
physics
the
wise
stove.
doesn't make sense, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That doesn't even matter. I mean, like it's the it
uh,
artistically it's very. I mean, I
it,
think,
in a cabin like that, it depends entirely on how drafty it is
oh, sure.
for the physics to work. Uh,
Um,
because the reality is she's closer to the stove. Now, would she be way warmer if they'd moved the cot over by the stove? Yes.
well, I mean, but I think it's
But
also,
she's going through the DTs.
mean, I think it's also I think it's also a thematic choice
Oh
that
yeah.
they're both, you know,
Well, and for that
and,
matter, one of the things I wondered when he came in and found her on the floor, uh, is is she there because it's warmer, or did she try to get up and go, not make it, and then just also not really want to get back into bed? And that's the line she's giving him. Um,
although, I mean, when you
and
look
I'm
at the,
not saying that that's true either, but
yeah.
I think the possibility that there could be multiple reasons is part of the thematic element of
Oh, yeah. I mean,
why it
I
works.
mean, I think that, I mean, not to get into the, like, there's so many things that happen in this book that I think are very specifically about the character's mental state. When what is it? Ray takes Derek out to look at his traps for
Yeah,
martins,
yeah,
and that Derek is looking at this animal in this trap, and that's him.
right.
You know, and I think that both of them being in that cabin and being on the floor is about
They're at the
getting
bottom.
to the lowest point.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think all of those things are just storytelling shorthand, and you pick it up or you don't, but it's I mean, in the name of the town. I mean, I don't know if that is a real town, and again, I don't know how to pronounce the name of that town. It's but they call it the Pit, and that's certainly thematically, you know, Pimitamon, Pimittamon. I don't, but everybody refers to it the Pit. The bar is called the Pit Stop. I mean, like it's a hole that you can't get out of. And when we meet Derek at the beginning of the book, it's he is caught in something he can't.
Oh, so I don't know if it's an actual town, but it comes up first right away. If you Google Pimataman, it comes up the Comics Journal review of Roughneck is actually the first return thing, and it says Pimataman is the Cree word for crossroads.
Mhm. That fits. I mean, that
Yep,
fits. I mean,
yep.
there's uh I don't know. The opening scene of this book is one of my favorites, where the two
Here
guys
we
are like,
go. Fictional Northern Ontario town. But there is also, it looks like a north through the graphic narratives of Jeff Lemire.
well, I did at one point I did find myself asking, oh, is this place located in Essex County? I mean,
Right.
because it seems to be his uh his go-to place. I don't know. I mean, I just this like the opening scene of this book is fantastic. And it's kind of a cliche. It's a noir cliche, it's a crime cliche. It's, the guy, our guy, sitting at the bar trying to mind his own business, and somebody is like, "Oh, you used to be somebody," and
Right.
Then he beats the hell out of him. And so good. Um, yeah, no, I think that there is definite uh I don't know. And then he's peeing outside, and the cop is buddy. It's like, could you at least go behind the building? Some kid could see you or something. And I don't see
There's
no
no
kids
kids.
around.
Yeah, there's no
There's no
kids.
kids around. It's like,
You just talked about some of the unspoken storytelling thing. I think that and I can't remember if I immediately picked it up the first time I read this book. I know that I knew it by the time I got to it this reading. So, but I can't remember how many times I've read this book.
mhm.
Um, when Derek goes after um what's the name of the ex?
Oh, it's
Ray. When Derek goes after Ray, the Beth is trying to stop him. The police are trying to stop him. They're like, hey, there's an investigation going on. They're on him, but we don't have anything to arrest him on. You cannot go,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. If you do something to him, I'm going to have to make you the bad guy, that
right,
sort
right.
of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then what Derek does is he just stands there
yeah, yeah.
until he gets beaten up and gives them something to arrest Ray for.
Well, I
Um,
mean, and that's that's the martyrdom plot.
yeah.
The man of violence accepts it's and it's funny to bring this up. Have you ever seen Goon, the movie?
Seen Goonies.
No, it's a hockey movie with
Okay, I know this one, and I think the
what is that
reason,
kid's name from he's from American
yeah,
Pie. I
Sean William Scott
Sean William Scott, and he's only done like three movies that I
and
actually
Jay Baruchel, who
yeah,
just wrote a really cool comic.
yeah. I think
He did.
he wrote it and
He
also
wrote it and starred in
but
it.
there is a point in there because he's a very similar character. He's a this tough guy from Canada ends up becoming a goon for the hockey team, just because he can beat people up, and he ends up with this girl, and she leaves her boyfriend for him, and he goes to their house, and he basically gets on his knees in front of this guy and just lets him to keep hitting him because he was like, I took your girl from you, so you get this moment. I mean, it's just like
Right,
the idea that somebody is that he is strong enough that, you know, could he could he have taken Ray? I don't know. But
right,
that at a certain point, it's about his atonement and it's about solving the problem through his debasement and suffering, you know.
right.
And that is uh yeah, it's a martyr story, really. um the other thing that just came to me when we were talking about the whole thing where it's like there's no kid, I don't see no kids. It's interesting, there are absolutely no children in that town. We see them when
No,
they are children.
yeah,
When our main characters are children, then we see children. And then there's the baby, because that's the other thing that's important. Beth is trying to get off drugs and she's pregnant with Ray's
right.
kid. And that outside of them as children and that baby, there are no, like, everyone in that town seems to be middle-aged or older.
Well, I think it's a essentially a dead mining town.
Yeah,
Um, the
it's a
one thing,
pit.
yeah, the one thing I don't remember. I'm trying to go back way at the beginning, who was playing hockey when he got home? Was that like an adult team or was that a
Oh, well, I
relatively?
mean, we see him, the scene with his
Because he lives
father,
at
we
the.
see him on
Well,
a,
no, but I feel like at the very beginning when he got back. Oh, okay, maybe it just flat. No,
when he goes
um,
into,
yeah, when he
when he
goes
goes
in
into the arena,
and he
right?
at the arena.
Where he
Yeah, those are like semi-pro.
there
They call
there's
them big
well, and we
kids,
never
but they're
see
not.
them,
They're not. No, you see them because you got the Timmins Thundercats,
right?
and then here I'll share my screen really quick. It's like page
I don't think
23.
we see the players, man. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
we
do.
do see them. They're
One
playing.
page, because
Yeah,
he's talking
yeah,
with
yeah,
Al's that guy's name.
yeah,
He's talking with Al about them. So
right.
we see them for one page,
Yeah, but they're not. Though
but they
they're
don't
not
actually
children.
look young. So it
Yeah,
looks like
they're that's a
it's like
semi-pro
a
or whatever.
right
Uh,
or like a company team, something like that.
right. Yeah, like the only time we see children are
Are the
when
flashbacks.
he is young, and yeah, there, that page where he's young and
Right.
he's playing,
Right. Well,
and
and
they're
I
with
mean
their mother.
when she goes to find well, now here's the one play. I mean, when he talks to the Timmins
Yeah, it's true.
players, they're young-ish.
Yeah.
I still think I would lean towards them not even being high school.
No, I don't think they are. I mean, I
I
think
think
that,
they're older than that.
yeah.
Um,
Although, well,
but
because like
also I
they
forget
have those they have like Letterman jackets on, but it's
they
not
do.
Pitt. It's not him. Whatever the
No,
name of the town is.
it's for Timmins, which is a
Simmons, which is
local
the
town.
yeah, which is yeah.
They're
I mean,
visitors.
I don't know anything, but they're certainly not those two guys are not children.
Right.
I think that there's a very specific choice, and I don't, being a
I
story
can't
where
I can't remember if it says specifically at some point that the mine that their parents met at isn't there anymore. But I know that I get the impression in part because dad she has to travel to go see dad. She's
hmm
to um
hmm
that like this was a town that was a little bigger for a while because there was a mine foundry whatever, but then it closed and with no jobs there was no reason for most people to stay.
right.
It's in between places so it's worth having the cafe since the arena is still there and it's not so far from other places. Well, you might as well keep the hockey rink up and going, and that's like it.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
feel about this town.
yeah, it's obvious. I mean, like I think, um, yeah, I mean, I think I can't, and maybe I'm getting too playwrighty about it, but it's like, yeah, I think the fact that they all call it the pit
Yeah.
is very indicative of how
Well, though the
it is a
pit
place.
is also the name of the bar is the
Yeah,
pit stop.
pit stop, but when they're like, get back to the pit, get back, and they're talking about the town,
Right.
and I think that,
But I have a feeling like this picture right here is the entire town.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
It's
like
like
it's
you
like
got a
one
pizza
street,
place and a diner and a bar and a church and the
right? I
hockey
mean,
rink.
I mean,
And it's not even clear anybody lives there anymore, which means that they could all be local rural people, or
mhm,
could be that everybody that lives there lives like above or behind any of these buildings.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that like the town itself, my family is my grandparents were ranchers in central Nebraska, and there are tons of towns like that where it's
Right.
just There's like
Well,
one
and
street,
have
and
you read Kate Beaton's newest book? I
no,
think it's Ducks, uh, which is about the 2 years she spent in the oil sands to essentially pay off her college debt.
right,
And it really seems like there's a lot of towns out there that um they're literally company towns. So
right.
it's like it's most people live in trailers that the company brought in that the company will take with them when they leave. Um,
It's just like when you're in Kentucky in coal country. I mean, like the
right,
whole town is built up by the coal company to service the mine. And
right,
they close the mine down, and what do you do? I
right.
mean, there the whole book is infused with a sort of desperation.
Yeah.
Like I think that no one is in a good place. I mean, and um everybody's looking for something. I mean, um the the friend who's takes him out with his traps, like if you think about that, here's this guy who's apparently making his living off of trapping animals for furs. I mean, and that's like, I think for most of us in the, urban environments, we would think that fur trapping, that's like nobody's done that since like 1873. It's like,
Right.
I think, it's like something that's
Well, and
continually,
there's an allusion to that too, because he's like, it'll probably get sold to China. They're the
right,
people that are still using fur.
right. Well, I mean, and I think that, for me, as an artist, I'm continually fascinated by the this world that, like I said, my mother's side of the family comes from ranching and a very rural sort of existence, and my father grew up in a very small town in Nebraska, and um, but I'm very much an urban animal, and that I continually am fascinated by the people, and
Yeah.
I think that world, and I feel some connection to it. And I think part of why I love this book so much is that it does feel like people that I knew. I mean, even the water tank with the name of the city on it is
Right.
like, I think that is that's something that I, from my childhood, intimately familiar with. Um, I mean, it does sort of have the one the Hollywood cold weather concession that nobody ever really seems to wear a parka or a hat, no
Well,
matter how
this is
cold it
this
is.
is why I called what he was wearing a jacket. Though as I look closer at it, it's not what
It's a
I thought it
shirt.
was because it's more easily rolled up and whatnot. Because there are a lot of um shirts like that that are like lined, and
Sure.
those are common in areas like that. So I had made the assumption that that was what it was, but when you see it rolled up the way it
And
is
please,
and you get a
like
better
I'm
look at
not
the collar,
that to
it's
me.
pretty clear. Though
That's
he might be wearing long underwear. They're well, no, I'm
I mean,
looking
like
at at the shirt under the shirt
yeah.
that there's just a little bit of showing.
Well, yeah. I mean, but they also, I mean, like it's clearly supposed to be intensely cold. I,
Yeah.
I that me bringing that up is just it's a laugh for me because I always think about that like, you know, like when I watch The Thing, and they're in
Right.
Antarctica and they're all running around and not one of them has a hat on or anything, and I'm like,
Though Al and the sheriff seem to be pretty well bundled up.
sure.
And while Beth doesn't wear a hat, she's got a pretty good jacket and
Right.
coat.
But
It's the
Derek's running around out
bruisers.
there
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his
No,
shaved
Derek
head.
and Ray, like,
Yeah,
but we already knew that they needed to have their heads examined.
sure. I mean, it's just one of those things that always makes me chuckle a little
Oh,
bit because it's
absolutely.
obviously, it's you want that look that there's nothing in the world that makes somebody look like a tough guy than if like it's bone scorching cold and bone scorching cold, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're running around with like a tank top on, it's like,
It reminds me of there's a scene in the West Wing where they're negotiating a meeting in Moscow between Bartlett and whoever the prime minister that they came up with the name of. And one of the things that the Russians are like, he must wear a hat and gloves. And they're, Leo's sitting there going, no, no. No, this is you always come into our country. Our country is cold. There's no reason to not wear a hat and gloves except to make us look weak.
it's all about appearances, man.
It is.
But yeah, now I'm looking at this pages where Beth goes and talks to their father, man, and it's like
Oh yeah.
the
Well, and talk about
the face is exactly the same as Derek's.
it
It's
is, but also I love how it gives you
bless you, bless you.
sorry. This is the path that Derek could go down. Because
Oh,
the
sure.
father hasn't learned anything. The father hasn't
Oh,
grown
no,
up at all. The
no, no, no.
father's like, what do you want? Money? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Um, and like when she says you're never gonna know your grandchild, he's like, all right, doesn't say anything.
I
You
also
know,
love, the other thing is that there's at least twice people make the assumption that because Derek played for the Rangers, because like clearly he had a good
yeah.
hockey career. I mean, like
Hmm.
he played for it doesn't say NHL, but Rangers. I assume that's the
Rangers is NHL.
yeah. Um,
I mean, they talked pro, so I mean
right.
that was my assumption is that
So, but like there's this assumption by people that somehow he has all this money. And
right.
it's like it's the same. It's just, I mean, I like, you encounter people like that all the time who are like, oh, well, you did this or that, you must have tons of money, like myself, like people are like, oh, well, well, you got a couple of books published, so you must have money. And I'm like, oh, no.
I mean, it's this like twofold thing that people don't seem to get about artists and creatives is the first is you almost never make money at the beginning. I mean, even when you sit there and go, "Oh, well, the league minimum salary is $500,000," and it's like, yeah, yeah, but $500,000 only goes so far, and you wind up with more expenses in a lot of ways because you're having to live
Your
away from home, you're having to travel,
manager, lawyer,
right,
whatever. I mean, like,
agent.
right.
Um,
And
and
the
when it comes to creatives, I mean, it's like everybody thinks that rock stars are, for the most part, I think it's changed some, but it used to be that like your first deal was almost always going to be a 6 album deal that paid you shit.
right.
That that no artist really made money off of the sales of their records until they got to negotiate their second record contract, which is why they
Well,
tour so much if they're popular and young, because
right.
that's the only place they make money.
Well, I mean, and this gets onto a whole nother topic, but I mean, like recorded music is almost valueless now
Right.
because everybody streams it and the streaming companies don't pay you shit. So,
Well, which
um,
ironically though has provided an avenue for some bands to do as well or better because if you manage to promote yourself because you aren't going to make shit because of the streaming services anyway. You don't need to sign a record contract. You just need
Right.
to feed it to the streaming services and tour.
Right.
You
And then
know.
you end up like, this is way off topic, but yeah, then you get to be like, I saw a few years ago, I saw a artist who was a member of a very reasonably popular band in the 90s, was touring as a solo artist with her band, and uh during the show they were literally begging for gas money to make it to the next show.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
like,
that
okay,
that happens too.
but uh it is, it is in terms of the book, I think it's really interesting because I'm sure when Derek got that gig, got the
He had some money for a while.
yeah,
Probably had to pay
he
some of the
probably
lawyers when
he
he.
probably also but he probably also thought that he had it made.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then, the bottom falls out
Hmm.
by his own actions.
Right.
Um,
Which probably also cost him money. It almost certainly cost him future endorsement or coaching money. You
well, I mean,
know.
like when we meet him, he's already back. He's back
Right.
where he started in the pit.
Right.
I don't know why.
Because I mean, that's the part that everybody also forgets about athletes is in general to manage to be good enough to become a professional athlete, you have to have dedicated your life to it in such a way that you don't necessarily have any other marketable skills.
I think yet again that goes back to character wise, talking about how the past is the only thing that seems real.
Yeah.
You know, everything now, everything that he experiences now, all of the contemporary scenes, are in this gray wash.
Right.
Nothing, there's no hope, there's no until we reach the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always, I remember, well, like, what was it, about a year ago? We did that. We were doing the book club and we read Asterios Polyp.
Ah, that was so
I
good.
remember we had
Hmm.
that huge, like the biggest debate we had during that thing was about the last panel where the meteor is crashing down on the house and whether
Yeah.
that was supposed to be like uh,
Real or metaphorical.
real, metaphorical, whether is this a positive ending, is this a
Right.
negative ending?
Right.
And I think uh, uh, I still love that book, and
I do
I
too.
I still think it is a negative ending. But I mean, like, clearly what you're saying is absolutely true. The last shot we have of both of the central characters, which is Derek and Beth, are walking into a horizon that is filled with bright and warm colors. Um, and I think that is uh, I mean, even Derek, when we see him at the end, is cleaned up. Like he's not as the drawing of him is much cleaner. It's not as sketchy. Um, yeah, in the last two lines of the book, uh, almost there. Yeah, and then the next two pages are almost there. Yeah, almost, and that they're approaching the horizon. So, like, we leave them, and they're not fixed, but they're close.
So that leads perfectly into discussion of what do we want to read next. Um, we talked about trying to get to 100 bullets, but I haven't managed to do any of I've led like the first 5 issues. So
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near ready to talk about the whole
I
thing. And I don't really want to
I don't see
counts.
myself like we're as I told you before we started recording, I'm
Right.
getting ready to go into production on my next play. So uh,
So,
that's going
and
to
it
be a I don't see any way that I can read the entirety of 100 bullets in
absolutely.
any
I,
sort of appreciable time. Um,
well, but and the fact that you brought up Mazzucchelli is perfect because I had already been thinking, have you read his City of Glass? Paul Auster just passed away. He wrote his New York trilogy of detective novels.
mhm.
Um and the first one was adapted by Paul Karasik and David Mazzucchelli. Um and I was just rereading it and going, this would be an interesting thing to talk about. It's
Yeah,
another, we'll be pushing the boundaries of people are tuning in because they think we're going to talk criminal and stray bullets and that sort of thing every episode. We're going to continue pushing the boundaries, but
um,
uh
yeah, I mean, like if we wanted to drop back into something that's a little closer to I mean, we could do whichever.
what were you thinking
I'm
otherwise?
okay with either one.
Well, I mean, give me other ideas,
Um,
because I mean, hopefully we'll be doing this for a while. We can do
sure. Um,
it. Doesn't have to be like all today. But
let's see.
particularly after you brought up
Like it
Asterios
depends on
Polyp
how far
again.
off like how wide are we willing to take this?
Uh,
Um,
honestly, I'm willing to take it wide enough that we should rename the podcast, and I still wouldn't.
because I mean, I just turned around, I looked at my shelf, and not that we just have to read stuff that I already own, but
Well, I mean, that's easier,
there is
and you're busy enough that if it's stuff that you've already read, it makes it easier too.
sure. Um, what I'd love to do, and it would be really tough to do, um, is I'm not suggesting this for next time because I think it would be really hard to find because
Which one?
DC has been reticent to reprint or do collected editions is the Sergeant Rock stuff.
That would be fun.
Because yeah, there is no uh
Which era of Sergeant Rock?
oh, I mean like the
Are we talking like
archives, like the Kubert stuff.
Kubert stuff?
I mean, like there is Between Hell and a Hard Place, that's still available.
Yeah, which is Azarello and Kubert.
Yep.
That could be fun.
I mean, I mean, like I was thinking, there's that kind of, I think that,
I don't know if I feel like a war story right now.
yeah, yeah,
I
uh,
think I'd like to stick more domestic.
sure. Um, well, then
But I'll keep that in mind.
yeah, I love like Kubert's,
Cuz honestly, I mean, particularly because we went pulp.
right?
Pulp and encompasses
So much, yes.
it
I mean, like,
encompasses war, it encompasses westerns, it encompasses Robert E. Howard,
right.
you know.
Um, I don't know. I mean, the easy ones, there's uh, but you know what? City of Glass is fine. We can do that.
Well, no, let's do something, make it
I,
easier.
I mean, like, I don't know. I,
I mean, I'm looking at my
I
shelf.
didn't,
Have
I
you
didn't
read?
know you were gonna make me pick.
Yeah, you don't have to pick, but we can talk about it more. Have you read Murder Me Dead? David Lapham's like one shot, well, not one shot, but it's a non-stray bullets book, harrowing tale of love and murder
Murder me.
hanging from the ceiling fan in their lavish Hollywood home. That's where Stephen Russell finds his estranged wife, a tear stained note in her pocket, pouring out years of pain and regret.
Huh. I'm not familiar with that. I would
Okay.
be willing to read that. Excuse me.
Well, tell me what else is on your shelf. Because for
Like I was thinking,
this month, you have enough going on that if you have it, it makes it easier, particularly because it's a shorter month because we recorded this one late. So if we want to get back on schedule,
there's
I mean, there are the easy ones. We could do Sin City, we could do Criminal, we could
right.
do
We could do those
anything by Brubaker,
The Parker graphic novels.
the
We could
Parker
do
graphic novels. The only
uh,
reason I would lean against the Parker graphic novels right now is I did a Parker roundtable already.
right.
It was long enough
Uh,
ago that it's not that I couldn't revisit it and probably will at some point, but
sure. No, no, no. I
um
would say,
do you have Pulp?
no.
Oh. I mean that one would be an easy one to get a hold of, I'm
Right.
certain.
Yeah, yeah, no. There it's absolutely, I don't know. I tell you what, let's just do City of Glass. It's a
Okay.
good suggestion and
I mean
worthwhile.
I'm telling you now, it's kind of weird.
Well, that's all right. Weird's fine.
Okay. I'm actually going to try to also like listen to the original novel just so that I have, but it's not a long novel. I'm not
Right,
saying you need to do that too. Just because I've only ever done City of Glass as the graphic novel.
right,
It's got a really good Art Spiegelman introduction
right.
in the volume that's actually like available right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that there's a lot of interesting ways we could go with this thing.
Oh yeah.
I think even like if we want to do Judge Dredd,
Judge Dredd could work. There's a
yeah,
lot of British stuff that could work.
yeah, Judge Dredd. Oh, what's that other British book? Anyway, let's just do City of Glass
City of
and
Glass is
work
still
on that, and then I promise, I promise that the next time we talk about this, I'll have some ideas.
yeah,
Not
whatever.
prepared to have an idea.
Whatever. I don't mind this as the way to end the book club podcast where it's the back and forth about what looks good. I mean, if we ever start having listeners that like communicate with us, 22 panels podcast at gmail.com. This is the sort of place that they could go, hey, why don't you read this? And I can go, sure, why don't you join us? Um,
Uh,
so
hint,
yeah.
hint.
Mhm. Actually, that's more a hint at, the person who's talked about that the most is actually Maria Pena on the Love and Rockets podcast, in part because that's how she wound up on the Love and Rockets podcast. She wrote a letter to Love and Rockets that I found and 30 years later wrote to her. um so yeah. Okay,
All right.
City of
Well,
Glass.
okay. So we know what we're doing next.
And it's not a long read. It's 144 pages.
Oh, good.
Um, and it's
I,
actually it's I think yeah, it's like a 5 by 8, so it's not even full.
right. No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all good. I'll just. I mean, like we don't really start rehearsals how hardcore until mid-July. So,
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Paul Karasik and I think I'm pronouncing that right. And David Mazzucchelli's adaptation, and they're actually both artists.
mhm,
I think Mazzucchelli actually did most of the work, but
right.
Karasik, the way I understood it from the introduction, Karasik, who was actually a student of Spiegelman's,
Mhm,
um, kind of unlocked how to handle it with some layouts of a scene, and like things spun from there.
right.
Um, but yeah, it's fascinating. Um, I had
Cool.
it sold to me at a comic shop, the closest comic shop to Yale, because we were in town to go to the Yale University Art Gallery, which any art people who haven't been there should go there, because imagine like the quality of collection of an art institute or a Met in terms of like big names and even some famous pieces, but like much less busy, and you can get much closer to the artwork because people don't know about it.
Right.
um yeah, we actually had a moment where we're in a room and there's this guy in a wheelchair being pushed by a person in a impeccably kept suit, arguing with a woman that I assume was one of the curators, saying, "We have 7 times as much art as we can display at any given time. I can give you the names of many other museums that are in need of pieces like that. I want my art to go to Yale." It's like, oh, what a problem to have.
Ah, well, my friend, I actually need to
You
jump
gotta
off.
run, I gotta run. So for Mark Pracht, this has been the Pulp Blotter on 22 panels, and we will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.